I'm a solo mum flipping furniture to fund my dream home, and this one might be a little bit controversial, but I hate orange furniture. And if you hate orange furniture too, then I want you to follow along because I'm going to turn this set into a raw, earthy, coastal bedroom set. Now, you have three main options when you are going to strip back a piece of furniture. You can use a chemical stripper like I'm using here. You could use a carbide scraper, or you could go straight in with your sander. Now, all of those options are great, and you will be able to use them in different scenarios. So for this one though, it did have a very thick top coat, which my carbide scraper didn't get through without the chemical stripper. So I opted to apply a layer of my paint stripper. I used poly stripper, and then I took the excess off and came back with my carbide scraper to remove the rest of the finish. I made a detailed video in my beginners playlist on exactly how to strip furniture effectively. So if you want to see this in a little bit more detail, head to that playlist. You can see here though that the carbide scraper with that poly stripper, paint stripper works beautifully. Now, this wasn't a long process at all. It took about an hour to strip all three pieces of furniture, and then it was time to scrub everything down. So I like using poly stripper because it is a water cleanup, so it's not gunky, it's not messy. You just get in there, hot soapy water, and clean it up. Once everything was completely dry, it was time to sand. I started with 120 grit, moving up to 150, followed by 180, and then 240 on everything. 120 grit sandpaper is a fantastic starting point when you are sanding down a piece of furniture, especially something soft like pine, because you're less likely to get those pigtail swiggly swirls from your sanding disc. Now, I opted to use the existing hardware for this one, so I used my etch primer just to get them ready for some spray paint. It was then time to apply my paint wash because I wanted this set to look like raw timber. I didn't want it to go gold or yellow or any of those tones that can come out when you apply a polyurethane or a wax to your timber. If you want to learn exactly how to paint wash, I have a beginner's guide through the link in my bio, which will teach you everything that you need to know. After 2 coats of that etch primer, it was time to spray my handles, and I just used a matte black spray paint. Now, it's essential that when you do a paint wash that you sand in between your coats and you sand at the end. Now, I use 600 grit sandpaper because you can see here, this is raised grain. So this is what happens when you put water back onto a piece of timber. The little fibers in the wood tend to stand up. So the 600 grit sandpaper just smooths them back down again. Now, because I wanted that beautiful raw timber feel, but I wanted it sealed, I used Feast Watson Hard Wax in Natural. And this is the end result. I absolutely love how this set turned out. I love that beautiful curve in the front. I love that you can still see the timber grain. It's got an earthy, rustic vibe to it. I could see it in a coastal home. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Nail or fail?